Welcome back to the channel, Barbarians. Corlick here, and today we recently have, with this weekly reset, a new exotic for us to chase, the Vex Caliber. It is a energy slot glaive, and this thing is super fun, very unique, and definitely worth going to grab. But before we dive into it, if you do find this video helpful, please drop a like on it. So we need to head over to the Gulch in the EDZ, and you're going to follow, these are essentially the points which you need to collect a light. You just need to get near it. You don't need to shoot it. At which point, in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, you're going to see a code appear. Collect all 6, and you will go to location F, which will have a secret entrance. So what do they look like? Let's go ahead and take a look. So if you go to the top where the logs and trees are laying down, you'll see kind of one, and from here you can see almost all of the other ones aside from one. So just look around this area. You have 30 seconds to go from one to the other, so you have very ample time, certainly easier in a fire team as well, and only one member needs to grab it. So that is the code you will see on the bottom left hand of your screen. You will go to point F. I'm going to collect that little sweet regional chest. As you can see, the secret kind of portal opens. It's kind of starting to look a little Vex themed. And you're just going to continue your way down here. And at this point, you have entered the secret. So you can interact with this bubble and start the mission. So I'm just going to talk about the mechanics in this first encounter. Essentially, somewhere in the map, I'm going to put my teammate to call out the code for the symbols. So you'll see triangle, square, or diamond is what we were calling them. And depending on the order of the shapes, your teammate's going to want to call them out, and you will shoot them in that corresponding order. When you correctly shoot one of the shapes, it will go out of the code in terms of what my teammate is seeing. So if there's 3 symbols and I shoot the first one, he will only see 2 remain. One of the difficulties here is making sure you don't shoot one of these symbols when you're trying to shoot an ad. So it's best, if this is your job at this encounter, to just focus on the shapes. And you'll see this encounter or mechanic appear one more time in this mission. There is all void shields in here, so you can go full void, which is what I did here, running a void hunter. And if you have it, I understand it's from a raid, but the commemoration machine gun is S++ tier for this activity. You can get 151 bullets in the magazine, which I think mine has now when I'm running it, and it just melts absolutely all ads, which is fantastic. Easily breaks these symbols as well, which certainly aren't difficult to break. Highly recommend this thing. It is fantastic. So all weapons void. You don't need to stun any champions in this normal version of it. I'm sure in the legendary you will, but for now, and all I'm going to do, I think it starts at a 3 symbol puzzle, goes to a 4, and then once you complete the 5, you'll see here in a second I do, and it'll say grant access in blue letters at the bottom left hand of my screen. Access granted. And here you just need to clear out the remaining Vex. The mission will continue to update. And this is more Vex than I think I've ever seen in one place. Certainly fun. I love the ad density that they're bringing into this. Makes you feel powerful. You've got that power fantasy going on. And you'll just simply continue to clear ads with your teammates, try to generate some orbs. Make sure to grab any ammo along the way. You're not rushed. And this is the second encounter, or mechanic I should say. Alright, this is the second encounter. And essentially you have to kill Vex and deposit those motes into the center. This is just starting out, and we kind of panicked. We saw a countdown, and it shows you how many motes to collect. And this slowly and slowly gets a little bit more difficult. And this mechanic in the second encounter is always present. And what I mean by that is eventually you'll get to the boss, or the damage phase for the boss here. And then in doing so, you're still going to have to hit a kind of a health gated section of health, and once you do that, you're going to deposit more motes, go back into the center, hide in here with your teammates, and then when that thing hits 0, the top of it will be covered and you will be safe because you made it in here. at which point you'll see here soon you're going to fall down, go into a portal, and go right back to the center stage. Rinse and repeat. Weapon recommendations here: Wither Horde, the new Final Warning sidearm, Commemoration, legendary, any legendary Void machine gun. SMGs are excellent. Rockets could see some fair play, but you just want to be very careful with those edges of all these boxes. And then for subclasses here, I'm really going to recommend for the Hunter running Void. Certainly no harm in running Arc or Blade, really any of the subclasses. However, I think Void is just going to be the best for the shields that appear. In addition to the invisibility, if a teammate goes down, you can just go grab them. For the Warlock, my top pick would probably be Stormcaller, just purely for ad clear. But you certainly could run Nova with something like Devour. Would also help with the shields in addition to survivability for that player. And then for the Titan, Bubble is probably my go-to choice here. But if you're having issues with the boss phase, you could switch to something like Thunder Crash. And there's certainly no harm in running Blade Fury on the Titan, as it's great ad control and you can suspend some of the larger targets, especially as this boss's health gets a little bit lower. There's quite a few more ads that spawn in, just something to be aware of. So we've hit the health mark or soon, and you'll notice here it's going to rotate back to the bomb diffusion or the detonating in X amount of time. So now we have to gather data. And gathering data is simply from Vex. You'll see these purple orbs. One just dropped, two dropped. Pick them up just like you would playing Gambit, and you're going to go to the center of the arena and deposit them into the conflux. I'm really just crutching on my Commemoration heavy Void machine gun with the volatile rounds from the artifact. This thing just decimates ads, and for some reason, I don't know why, playing through this exotic mission, I had zero trouble with heavy ammo. I'm not sure if it's due to the artifact mods my teammates are running or that I had on, but I was able to spam heavy right up until the end of the boss fight at the very end of this mission. So we're going to go back in. And this is kind of this only does this once, and then from here you can wipe the boss or completely kill him. But stuff does get a little bit crazy in this final stand. Sorry, you have to deposit first. And then once you spawn back in, this gets kind of crazy, and then you deposit. And then once that's done, it'll take you to the boss to finish off his health and complete this encounter. I didn't keep the whole encounter in the video because really the crux of it is just depositing these motes. And then once this encounter is done, it's very quick navigation to the boss fight. Mainly in this video, I just wanted to showcase the mechanics themselves and how to get through this mission as easy as possible. Hiding in here. We're going to jump up here to the portal afterwards. All right. We've got a platform there as we're going down. Platform here. Platform here. Oh, what's this? 3 different levels. This is very reminiscent of my favorite strike in the game. And for good reason. It's the same boss, more or less, as you'll see here in a second. A few things to talk through here. This final boss has 3 different phases. We're in phase 1 now. Phase 1 is simply do damage to boss and don't die. The simplest phase, nothing too crazy. It seems very easy. When you're doing this, you're like, oh, this whole boss fight's going to be very simple. It gets a little bit more complex after this, so just make sure you run around. You're aware of the wyvern that spawn in. You can take them down pretty easily. As you can see, my machine gun just melting it. Keep your cover. That's going to alternate and continually pumping damage into him. He does have a fair bit of health. I would say it's worth using at least one super in this phase, but not all of your supers, because you're going to want to create some orbs in floors 2 and 3 to ensure that you have survivability and proper DPS going into those phases. Still got quite a bit of health here. We're just going to chunk it away. Some ads spawn, but nothing too crazy. This is floor number 2. In here, you'll see a conflux similar to the first encounter. In this case, you can see my teammate over on the left. He's standing on something I'll show you in a bit, which shows him the code for this comp spire, I guess, this Vex spire. I'm going to have to shoot these shapes in a specific order, and in doing so, lowers the shield around the boss. Now, caveat, you only have 30 seconds to do damage, so take out some heavy hitting stuff and pump him full of lead. I attempt a tether from Narnia, and it does about jack shit to him, so I wouldn't recommend that. Here I'm just pumping him full of heavy, realize it's probably a bad idea, need this for ads in the next wave, so I stop. And then here, oh, what's this? Boom! Look down beneath the floor, and I remember diamond, square, square. And me as the shooter as well, I have all the info I need, so I can do this solo, in theory. Gonna kill that wyvern. Not sure what my teammates are doing there. And rinse and repeat, so I'm gonna shoot the... He does get 2 shields in this second phase. And then the last phase, I hope you brought toilet paper, because once you land on this floor, you will shit yourself. He is just running at you. No shields. There are some places to hide on the map, and the word hide is a stretch. And you're just going to pump him full of lead. Save everything you can for that end fight to make it as easy as possible. You really don't want to wipe there. And that's it. You can go pick up the sweet, sweet new Vex Caliber Glaive, and it is yours, Guardians. Oh, nice, red border. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.